This video will go over the player tribal mat and explain how the skills work. The top of the mat shows where you place pawns to track actions. At the start of each turn, players will place pawns over the circles of the actions they are taking in order to keep track of which actions are available to use. You can open an action with a token once a round has started if you have not already taken that action. You cannot use new tokens placed on the sundial this round if already using or have previously used that action. There are 3 workers for hire in addition to your starting 2 workers and tribal leader. Workers must be fed at the end of each year. When hiring an additional worker, pull from your board under Travel Skill and place on any of your controlled villages and remove a token from the Travel Skill on the player tribal mat and place on the sundial. The workers can be used immediately. There's an extra worker available in the game associated with the Earth Tribute. This worker is called the Acolyte Worker, which is the black meeple. This worker is used by a player who tributes to the Earth Tribute. At the beginning of the next round, the Acolyte Worker is placed on any controlled village and used just like any other worker. This worker does not need to be fed. The worker remains with that player each round until another player tributes on the Earth Temple. The worker goes to the new player at the start of the next round. The player tribal mat has 25 skill squares covered with tokens that can be removed throughout the game. Players start with 5 tokens distributed on the sundial in any fashion of 3 or less. We recommend using all 3 sundial tips for beginners with 2 on green, 2 on yellow, and 1 on red. Tokens will always be removed from the player tribal mat onto the sundial except when tributing. Please see tribute. The boon is a larger cube that acts like a regular token but can only be used on the sundial. Right after someone tributes, the person who is in last place for points puts their boon anywhere on the sundial even if they have 3 tokens already. Only one person may have the boon at a time, so if players are tied for last, then no one gets to use it. The same player may have the boon for several tributes in a row and may place it to a different tip after a new tribute. There are 9 different skills with 2 to 3 levels each. Each level gets progressively more expensive, with the second skill level being double the cost and the third level being triple the cost. You can unlock any skill level in any year. Skills are always unlocked from left to right except when tributing. You cannot use a skill level 3 unless level 1 and 2 are unlocked. Lava Skill. Lava Skill allows a player to reduce how many lava tokens they would take when an opponent tributes. Skill level 1 reduces by 1, skill level 2 reduces by 2, and skill level 3 reduces by 3. Note that these are not additive and do not affect how many dice a player rolls for lava. In addition to reducing the lava, skill level 1 adds 4 coin during income, skill level 2 adds 6 coin, and level 3 adds 8 coin for a total of 18 coin. For example, blue tributes in year 2. All players would have to roll 2 lava dice. Purple rolls 3 lava, meaning 3 red stripes on the dice. He would reduce it down by 2 because he has skill level 2 unlocked. He must place a single lava token out on any tile touching the volcano. In this case, he can choose between wood or fish in the first ring touching the volcano tile. He chooses fish. Also, purple would gain an extra 10 during income for having skill 1 and 2 unlocked. Excavate Skill. Excavate allows a player to remove all lava tokens from any player's tiles on the map. Skill 1 allows excavation of 1 tile per turn, Skill 2 allows 2 tiles per turn, and Skill 3 allows 3 tiles per turn. Each level is repeatable, meaning if you only want to excavate 1 tile, you can pay 1 wood and 1 corn to do so, even though you've unlocked this skill previously. No token is removed if this is the case. You can only excavate once per turn, so players must decide which repeatable level they choose. As always, you must remove tokens from left to right. Note that if an opponent's tile is completely filled with lava, you may excavate it and claim it as your own using a Sundial Token. The opponent's Sundial Token is removed from the game. Lava tokens excavated are also removed from the game and do not go back into the bank lava stock. For example, blue's corn is completely filled with lava. Purple takes the excavation action and decides to only excavate 1 tile. He pays 1 corn and 1 wood to excavate blue's corn tile. The blue token and the lava are removed from the game. There is no token removed from the player mat as purple has already excavated previously. Purple takes a token off the sundial and claims the tile as his own. Each unlocked skill also earns goods when any player, including himself, performs a tribute. Level 1 earns 1 corn, level 2 earns 1 wood, and level 3 earns 1 fish. These are additive, so if all 3 skills are unlocked, the player would gain all 3 goods. Storehouse Skill. Storehouse allows players to feed workers for free at the end of each year. It also reduces the cost of a single village worker action. This can only be used once per turn. Skill 1 feeds 1 worker at no cost and reduces 1 village worker action cost by 1 corn. Skill 2 feeds 2 workers and reduces the action cost by 2 wood. Skill 3 feeds 3 workers and reduces the cost by 3 goods of choice. These skills are not additive, and each player must pick which single worker village action they want to use the cost reduction on. Players may not use this on Area Multiplier. For example, Purple gathers on his village with 3 workers and 3 open spots. He chooses Lava, Excavate, and Craftsman. He decides to use his Storehouse skill on Excavate as it reduces the cost by 2 wood. Lava level 1 would cost 1 corn and 1 wood. Excavate level 2 now only costs 2 corn as the 2 wood is not needed. Craftsman level 1 would cost 1 corn, 1 wood, and 1 fish. Note that the tokens are removed and placed on the sundial. The spent goods are returned to the bank.
Craftsman Skill. Players cannot gather on lakes or fish without this skill. Skill 1 allows you to gather fish on lakes and lets you feed workers with fish at a rate of 1 fish equals 2 corn. Skill 2 allows you to gather plus 2 goods per tile gathered on, and that's any type of tile except for village. Skill 3 lets you score 1 point per lake tile gathered on. Skills are additive with each other. For example, Purple has 1 worker on a lake tile and 2 workers on another lake tile. He gathers on both tiles. The single worker would gather 2 fish plus another 2 fish for Skill 2 being unlocked. He also scores 1 point for Skill 3 being unlocked. His other 2 workers gather 4 fish plus another 2 fish for Skill 2 being unlocked and scores 1 point for Skill 3 being unlocked. Tile Skill. Skill 1 allows you to draw 1 tile and play a tile on the same turn. The drawn tile can be played immediately. Skill 2 allows you to draw 3 tiles, keep 1, and play 1 from your hand. Place the 2 unused tiles back under the draw pile. The maximum number of tiles in hand is 3 at the end of a player's turn. Any extra tiles above 3 are removed from the game. The player chooses which ones to keep. Note that drawing a tile and playing a tile on the same turn only requires 1 Sundial token with Skill 1 and 2. Trade Skill. Skill 1 allows a player to add 1 extra good for free when they buy or sell at the market. Skill 2 allows a player to increase the number of types of goods they can buy or sell at the market to 2 each. For example, Purple uses Action 3 Trade and has 2 tokens on the sundial tip, which enables him to buy or sell up to a quantity of 2 goods each. He has Skill Level 1 unlocked. He wants to buy 2 wood for 5 each. He pays the 10 coin, but would actually get 3 wood. He also wants to sell 2 stone for 3 coin each, but would actually get 9 coin instead of 6. Example 2. Purple has 2 sundial tokens on Action 3 Red Tip. Skill 2 is unlocked, so he can buy 2 types of goods and sell 2 types of goods at the market. He chooses to buy 2 wood for 10 coin, but would get 3 wood because of Skill 1. He also buys 1 stone for 3, but actually gets 2 stone. He also sells 2 corn for 10 coin, but would actually get 15 coin. He then sells 1 fish for 3 coin, but would actually get 6 coin. Area Multiplier. This scores the player's controlled tiles at the end of the game. Count the active controlled tiles that are not completely full of lava and multiply by the skill level unlocked. Skill 1 is times 1, Skill 2 is times 2, and Skill 3 is times 3. Technology tiles count as 2. Storehouse skill cannot be used on the multiplier. You also cannot remove the skill level 3 by tributing. For example, Purple counts up the number of tokens he has on the map, noting that his technology tile counts as 2 and his corn tile counts as 0 as it is filled with lava. He still gets to count his village as there is 1 open spot on the tile still. He counts 6 total tokens. He then multiplies this by his skill level 2, which is times 2. He scores 12 points. Travel Skill. This skill allows your workers to travel farther distances and also lets you hire more workers. The maximum number of travel moves are 9, not counting the boon. Skill 1 allows 2 extra moves added to the sundial total of Action 1. Skill 2 allows 4 extra moves. Skill 3 allows 6 extra moves. Skills are not additive. Each skill level also lets you place a worker on any controlled village. These workers are available immediately for use. Note that when tributing, the third skill and worker are not available until skills 1 and 2 are unlocked. The worker would stay on the player mat until those skills are unlocked. The token is still removed and placed in the temple spot. Warrior. Players roll dice in defense and attack during combat. Each player starts with 1 die. There are a max of 4 combat dice for attack and defense. Ties always go to the defender. Blanks do not count as wins or ties. Skill level 1 rolls 2 dice, skill level 2 rolls 3 dice, and skill level 3 rolls 4 dice. Skills are not additive. First player. First player spot allows you to be the first player to start your actions in the next round. You must place your worker on the village worker mat using Action 2 Gather when on a village. You take the first player marker at the end of the round. The cost is always 5 coin no matter the year. Copy Player.
This village worker action allows you to copy any village worker spot that is already taken by an opponent. You must place your worker on the village worker mat using action to gather when on a village. You cannot copy your own action, and you cannot copy first player action. The cost is always 5 coin plus the usual cost of the skill being upgraded. In a 2 to 3 player game, there is only one spot available, noted with the 2+ icon. In a 4 to 5 player game, there are 2 spots available with the 2+ and 4+ icons. Scoring. Each skill that gets completely unlocked will score points at the end of the game based on the player mat. Lava and Excavate skills score 5 points. Storehouse and Craftsman score 6 points. Tile and Trade scores 4 points. Travel and Warrior scores 8 points. For example, a player may remove all tokens from Lava and Excavate skills and score a total of 10 points. Score track. Each player keeps score on their own track denoted by the numbered black squares around the outside of their player mat. If you surpass 50, simply start again at 1 and add 50 to your score. This ends the video tutorial on the player mat. Thanks for watching.